Hi everyone, I'm Marcy, and if you've got a craving for pizza, today I'm going to show you how easy it is to make it at home. And actually, this is more of a how to make pizza dough from scratch recipe, because when it comes time to assembling the pizza, we're all going to do that differently based on our own favorite toppings, but you get the idea. The recipe I use is actually a combination of two recipes I found on the internet years ago. You know how when you like something from one recipe and something from another and it just kind of works for you? That's the case for this one. What you're going to need is 1 cup of warm water, 2 1/4 teaspoons active dry yeast, which is one of these packages. Now, if you happen to have fast-acting yeast, also called rapid rise yeast, you can use that as well. It's just slightly different, and I'll explain that as we go along. You're also going to need 1 teaspoon honey, 1 teaspoon salt, 3 tablespoons olive oil, and 3 cups flour. Now I'm going with bread flour, but you can absolutely use all-purpose flour. I've also seen in the store where they sell pizza flour, which I've never bought before, but I suspect it's very similar to bread flour. And what this does is it just gives your crust a sort of chewier consistency, which is what I really like. And then, of course, you're going to need whichever sauce and toppings you want to put on your pizza, but that's going to vary depending on your personal preferences, so you don't need me to tell you what to put on your pizza. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started by making the dough for our pizza crust. I'm first going to place my active dry yeast into a small bowl, and then I'm going to check my water to see that it's the right temperature. It should be between 100 and 110 degrees. Any hotter and it will kill the yeast. This is within that range, so I'm going to add it to the yeast along with the honey and give it a quick mix until it dissolves. I'll let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes until the yeast mixture becomes frothy. If for some reason yours doesn't bubble, your yeast has likely expired and you'll need to throw it away and start over. Now, if you happen to use fast-acting or rapid rise yeast, you can skip this proofing part and just combine all your ingredients together. The only difference is that the temperature of the water needs to be slightly warmer, and you can find out what that exact temperature is by looking at the back of your packet. And then when it comes time for your dough to rise, unlike me, I'm going to have to let it rise for a full hour. With rapid rise yeast, it only takes 10 minutes and your dough is good to go. Now that my yeast is bubbly and active, I'll add the 3 cups of bread flour into the bowl of my stand mixer. Then I'll add the 3 tablespoons of olive oil to the yeast, as well as the salt. I'll mix it just a little before creating a well in the center of my flour, and then I'll pour in the liquid. Now with the dough hook on my stand mixer, I'll get everything kneaded together. This won't take long at all. In fact, if you prefer, you can do this by hand. Once it all comes together in one piece of dough, it will be a bit tacky, so lightly flour a clean flat surface. And knead the dough by hand for just a minute or two until you can form a smooth ball of dough. Next, grease the bowl with olive oil and return the dough to it. Cover, then let it rise in the warmest part of your home until the dough has doubled in size. This should take about an hour. Once the dough has risen, lightly flour your surface. Drop the dough onto it and begin to shape it with your hands. I start by first pressing it down with my fingers, then I lift and stretch it, making it as round and as flat as possible. Then transfer it over to the pan and continue to stretch and mold it into a crust that's a little thicker along the edges. Don't worry if it's not perfect. This is a homemade pizza, and the taste will more than make up for how it looks. Next, get all your toppings ready. I've got a variety of all my favorites, and I made sure to grate plenty of mozzarella cheese. So now we're ready to assemble our pizza. I've decided to split mine down the middle and make half with the red sauce, and this is just from a jar. Then on the other half, I'm going to spread some of my homemade pesto sauce with just a little heavy cream. Now I cover the entire pizza with cheese. I'll be using pepperoni, Italian sausage, and hatch green chili over the red sauce, and roasted chicken and red onion on the pesto side. I sprinkle with additional mozzarella cheese and then pop it in the oven at 500 degrees for 10 to 12 minutes until golden brown. And now we cut into this bad boy so we can enjoy it while it's hot. And I'm going to try to follow the line separating the two different kinds of pizza. And now decisions. Which will it be? The pepperoni, Italian sausage, and hatch green chili? Or I think it's this one, the pesto, roasted chicken, and red onion. And doesn't that look beautiful? Got the cheese dripping on one end, and I can hardly wait to give this a try. My goodness, this is just heavenly. I know they say there's no such thing as bad pizza, but there is such a thing as fantastic pizza, and this is it. I really hope you try this recipe, and let me know in the comments what you think. It's so good. Thanks so much for checking out this video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I also invite you to follow me at Marcy Inspired on Instagram and Facebook. Until next time, blessings from my kitchen to yours.